can play structure games. English, the structures are very important. There are very many ways of saying it, right? You can use the very colloquial simple structures like what have you got to eat today is one of those things that conversational. It's okay in a conversation, you don't have to get formal, starchy, use high language in order to ask what have you got to eat today. That's a simple kind of transaction. But if you want to talk about certain things, good structures are very important. So for example, if I were to give you essays to write, and if I say, had I been a bird, I would have. Now that is a very, very good structure. What do teachers give? If I were a bird, ... or if I were ... and then children start writing with all tenses. If I were, I will. If I were, I am going to. They do all kinds of things. Now I am twisting that and writing, had I been a bird, I would have. I have given you the whole structure. Now you have to make sentences for me. I don't even want you to write an essay. I just want different children telling me sentences. I can do it in grade 3. Had I been a bird, had I been a bird, you need to say it. Had I been a bird, I would have. And then you need a past participle. I would have flown, I would have seen, I would have taken, I would have pecked. You can go on like that. I would have found golden beads on the river bank. Very good, nice and imaginative. Or it can be a horror thing. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be a bird, it can be anything. So you will generate a lot of sentences from children, and when they say it, their tongue is moving, and when they hear it, they are hearing this structure. Had I been a bird, I would have, at least 30 times. That's enough. The brain will register it very nicely. Similarly, you've got, in the event of an earthquake, we will. And then what will you put? You will put the base word. In the event of an earthquake, we will take shelter. In the event of an earthquake, we will rescue smaller children. In the event of an earthquake, we will gather funds. Everything is base verb, V1 after will, because it's a tense, right? So you repeat this. Similarly, I didn't take plus I didn't take. So that take is a base verb. I didn't take it, it must have been someone else's. See, it must have been someone else's. One of the most common mistakes that small children make is in the possessive. This is my daddy's t-shirt. They don't say that. They say, this is my daddy t-shirt. I go to my nanny house. This is what they do. That is a mistake that we must correct as soon as it is said when they are 3 years old. Must correct it immediately. Daddy's t-shirt, nanny's house, this is what it should be. So these mistakes should be weeded out. That's our job. We cannot say someone will do it later. There is nobody there. Never would I have, and then past participle. Never would I have dreamt that I would, and then you get a base verb, that I would become the president of the school. Never would I have dreamt that I would be able to finish first in the race. Never would I have. See the way we have structured it. I never thought I will become. This is colloquial. Never would I have dreamt, never would I have thought, never would I have imagined. This is good structure. Now I can choose these structures and give it to my students to start practicing. I can practice it in the classroom. I can put it up on a word wall and tell them, next time you write, look at the structure list that we did and try to use those sentences. Practice is important. So this is what we do. You have to learn with the children. Don't say, I don't know these structures and therefore I cannot do it. Ask ChatGPT. Everybody is doing AI now. How to search on AI, how to find. Ask for these structures. Give these 2 structures to AI and tell it to give you more such structures. That's all you need to do. and tell it what grade you want. And it will give you structures. What genre you want, imaginative genre, adventure story, for what do you want it? It will give you structures. Structure is not hard to find. There you go. So it becomes easy peasy. The other thing you can do with children is to play games. Children love games and you can do lots of language games. So if I were in a grade 6, let us say, or a 5, I would tell them to make a large number of verbs and a large number of adverbs. And I would say you can go to writing with ease and you can pull out from there verbs of great quality. You can ask AI if you want to, if there is access, find out and get me a lot of verbs. Don't repeat the verbs. So you can actually put it up on the wall and all the repetitions can be pulled out. The rest of the papers you take, fold it and put it into a jar, verb jar and then an adverb jar. And then you say, we are now going to use verbs and adverbs together. So you have to pull out whatever you get in your hand. So let's say I pull out the verb crawl. Crawl is my verb that I have pulled out. And there's another boy who's pulled out the verb hysterically for adverb. So now, if I say the crab crawled hysterically, oh wow, then the whole class will laugh because hysterically is such a dramatic verb, and then you have this crab that is crawling which you are describing as hysterically. So that's going to be really funny, or if someone is shouting meekly, that is impossible. So there can be a lot of laughter and there can be a lot of vocabulary building that is happening. This idea of verbs and adverbs going together is also sitting as a grammar function in their minds when you play this game. This way, there are a huge number of grammar games that can be played. They need not be played for a whole period. They can be played for 5 minutes. Anything that you do, don't do it for too long. Do it quickly. The listening and the speaking practices, let them do it at home and tick it in a roster. And once in a blue moon, you can ask them, not a blue moon, once every, you can roster it, and once every so many days, you can ask one child to send you a recording of what he is listening to and what he is reading out. That will be a good kind of, and you can give marks for that. So that will be like a test. It will be made compulsory, mandatory, impress upon your parents how important it is for picking up spoken language, picking up English as a language. There is absolutely no better way to do it. Textbooks and poems will not give it to you. And the way we are doing it, by explaining it to death, we are not even producing any skills in children. If you want a good course book, go to Empowering English, which is my series going from 1 to 8. Even that I would tell you, concentrate on the skills, not on the story. Okay. So I have given you several tips today to be a rock star English teacher. So make sure that you use all of these in your classrooms and your children will shine. Keep smiling.